We're here today in Du Bois, Pennsylvania, western Pennsylvania, and it's not a very big town and really never has been, but in the early 1900s, two important men lived in this city at the same time. The first man was named Johnny Jones, and right about the turn of the century, well, it was 1899, he began a small traveling carnival, and that carnival grew to be the second biggest, second only to the Ringling Brothers carnival. Johnny Jones lived to the age of 56, and he passed away of renal failure because from his youth he had got into alcoholism. And so here in Du Bois, one of the notable people is Johnny Jones. Back up us a little bit. It's the late 1800s, and over in Bulgaria, there are two young men that, among others, had been heavily persecuted by the Turkish Muslims. And so they, through kind of some desperate situations, made their way to New York City. They got to New York City, and they were mistreated there. So they made their way into New Jersey, where some Baptists, they met some Baptists who befriended them and told them about the gospel. And they were saved and discipled, and one of those two men, named Teno Vulkoff, went to what we would consider a Bible college. He got out of Bible college and made his way eventually here, after a couple stops, to Du Bois, Pennsylvania. And he came here and he took over the pastorate of the First Baptist Church. A Bulgarian married an American wife, learned English, and became the pastor of this church that's behind us. Now, when Teno got here, this church building had been built several years before, in like 1894, but the church had fallen on hard times and had to actually sell the building. So he gets here and the church is being used as an opera house. But he rallies together the members of the church, and things begin to grow. People begin to get saved. They begin to get baptized and discipled. And they're actually able, under Teno Vulkoff, the Bulgarian who came to the States, able to buy back this building just a few years later. And this stayed the home of the First Baptist Church for about 70 years after that. So Mr. Vulkoff, Teno, was kind of the reverse of the Macedonian call. In the New Testament, Paul hears the call, come over to Macedonia and help us. And that area where Vulkoff was from, Bulgaria, was really an area that would have been affected by Paul's move from Asia into Europe, the Macedonian call. But here, kind of the reverse of it, we have a man from that area of the world, Macedonia, Thrace in that time, that comes to America, and some Baptists befriend him and disciple him. And Teno Vulkoff, for 3 years, pastored this church. He had a lot of great plans for what he was going to do after that, but the Lord actually took him home at the age of 37 after only pastoring here at the First Baptist Church for 3 years. Two men in one town, Du Bois, Pennsylvania. Undoubtedly they knew each other. One got into alcohol and gave his life to the entertainment business and died sadly at the age of 56 from renal failure. Another left Bulgaria, came to the States, was saved, became a pastor, and served here for 3 years, happily serving the Lord at this First Baptist Church. God used him. An interesting piece of history, Baptist history, here in the small town in western Pennsylvania of Du Bois.